Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. We are doing a part 3 of the Opus 14 spoilers. These came out quickly and like I told you, I'm going to be dedicated to, covering it as much as I can. So we did it. We made it. We were able to have enough cards for part 3 and we got a lot this week and I know there's more coming as we go. So there's going to be tons to talk about. I don't know if we'll keep going with the spoilers, then we don't do the set review and maybe we'll do some other stuff, but we'll see. Now, this is in no particular order because a lot of these cards are great and a lot of these cards are, well, some are great and some are underwhelming, but we've got a lot to talk about. So we're going to cover all of them. I have the new Primal too, and then I'm going to discuss the changes between that and the chapters. And yeah, stick around and maybe I'll give you some good news too. Alright guys, let's get started. Here we have Cactuar, Roni, Ifrita, and Muraga. So at the end of each of your turns, place one monster counter on Cactuar Roni and put Cactuar Roni into the break zone. Choose up to the same number of characters as the monster counters placed on Cactuar. Activate them. So it looks like all the monsters this set have that. That's their ability. At the end of each turn, put a counter on it and then remove it and do X with X counters. Right? It's as far as I know right now, the Tomberry is still my favorite, but this one is a close second. This is the card, and it says characters, right? It doesn't say forwards. So this is a card that you can drop like turn 1 or turn 2 with absolutely zero repercussions. Because, and what I mean by that is that normally you want to develop board, right? Like that's the kind of like the mentality you go into playing this game. Like every turn should be, it's like a chess match, right? You're always pushing the pieces forward, and when you go back, you change your momentum or whatever, right? And Cactuar Roni is one of these cards that doesn't just keep you like most monsters would just keep you in place. It doesn't necessarily mean you're developing board or moving forward, but Cactuar Roni does this because the later the game goes and the more counters he has, and I'm talking about the crazier plays you're gonna have. I also think Cactuar Roni is gonna open up a lot of stuff for us, like more infinites. I'm not there yet. My brain hasn't processed all the cards yet, but like let's say we drop this turn 2, right? We'll have on turn 2 because we'll have one backup and then we drop another backup. But the first backup will tap for Cactuar. So we have one and then 2 backups. And then let's say 5 turns later, he's got 5 counters. We already have a full board and we have full grip. I don't know what, again, I don't know the scenario in my hand, but just a couple things come to mind. Being able to set up like the infinites with the white mage and like the Alua combo to get like all the shoals and then just push a bunch of forwards. That's like, that has OTK potential, right? Or anything really. Like, I don't think Sin would be there, but you could do something with Sin because you need to activate stuff. Even though when Sin comes in, he breaks everything, you can respond and, activate your backups again. I don't know. These are just some thoughts, some quick thoughts going through my head, but I think he's going to be very useful. I think something with Monster Hate might be important, but even then, like, they break themselves, right? Like, I always dislike Monster Hate because most monsters can respond to the effects, and so yeah, he's a good card. He's probably a close second to the Tomberry, and I think we have a few more of those in this reveal, so we'll talk about those. Next is Ifrita. Very simple, 5 EX burst, Waff, choose a forward, deal at 7k, and then search for a card named Ifrita and add it to your hand. It sucks that the EX burst is just the 7k. If it was both, then I think we would be in a really good spot. But I like the fact that it searches, you can search this Ifrita or the other Ifrita. And so I think there is a realm where there is a deck out there where you're playing all the Ifritas and some other Ifrits, and then you're also doing like all those decks that require a lot of summons and you're pitching them. And then that way you're able to search for all these things and like take advantage of the other Ifrita. But it's a half decent card. It's a little too expensive for my taste, but being able to search is nice. Muraga, another EX burst. When he enters the field, choose a forward, put it in a break zone from the field. Let me try that one again. When he enters the field, choose a forward, put into the break zone from the field during this turn. Add it to your hand. Okay. So I guess like a main phase 2 kind of thing, or choose a forward, put from the field during this turn. Yeah, so it put in your break zone. So it doesn't mean, it could be as long as it went to the break zone during this turn, you have its effect. Something like monks or like a main phase 2 kind of thing what's the other one? Fanfrits, things of that nature would be good for this card. Luzoff. Backup. Corsair 11 back attack. Interesting. When Luzoff enters the field, choose a forward you control, return it to its owner's hand. When you do so, your opponent selects a forward they control and put it into the break zone. Oof. Okay, that's cool. So I put one back to my hand, and then you send one to the break zone. And I get a backup. That's pretty good. I like it. I guess it's solely dependent on you still having forwards, but it has to have a downside. It is a good card, though. Something else it's another battle trick sort of for water to move into. So that's going to be pretty good. That should see some play, actually. Now we have Chivalry EX Summon. Choose a forward until the end of the turn. It gains 3,000 power, and when a forward opponent controls is put from the field into the break zone, on the same turn that the chosen forward has dealt it damage, your opponent discards one card. Has dealt it damage. Okay. Your opponent discards one card from their hand. Okay, that's a little interesting. There's a lot of things here. It's really wordy heavy. But pretty much as if you power up the forward and it deals a forward and it sends a forward and it kills a forward, your opponent discards a card. So pairing this up with Hecaton, honestly, maybe even Ursula. I'm not sure if the Ursula thing reads there, but if I'm clearing your board and clearing your hand in one turn with an Ice Earth deck, then that's going to be really, really annoying. Next is Goblin as the next monster that... the same ability. It's another monster, right? So at the end of the turn, put a counter on it, and then remove it. Choose a Dull forward, deal 2,000 for each monster. So it has to be Dull. So that's kind of weak. Not interested. Next is Molyris from 9. Yeah, I don't remember this one either. Well, I don't. Yeah. I'll think about it later. When Molyris enters the field, you may discard one Job Chaos. When you do so, choose a forward, deal it 8,000. So I think this goes with the Tiamat that we saw on the last one. They were both 9, same effect. This might be an interesting color deck because they all do that. And you have more chaoses now, so okay, it's building into something. I guess we'll have to wait to see what the water and earth one does, because it would have to mimic. It wouldn't have to, but my assumption is that it would mimic the other elements of the chaos characters we have already, and then that would leave you to an earth, fire, water, wind like quad color deck that you can play around with because you'll have access to all of the chaos discarding effects. Old Leonis, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but he's definitely old. When Leonis is put from the field into the break zone, choose a job standard unit in your break zone and add it to your hand. Pretty simple. King, which is good in FFBE, so searchable 2 ways, 5 for 9 normal, and recurs 1 at the end. Job standard unit though, I don't think we've kind of walked away from the standard units a long time ago. So at least it's not a forward, so you can just get a backup too. So there's something there. These 11 names are so weird. Abkuba, forward 11, Salahim Sentinels. When a character other than him enters the field, he gains 1,000 power until the end of the turn. Sure, that's regular effect. We can move on. Naja Salahim. Okay, when she cannot be chosen by your opponent's summons or abilities. When Naja deals damage to your opponent, choose one character. Select one counter placed on it. Double all the counters of the same type as the selected counter on that character. Okay, now that's interesting. Okay, so you can select one of your characters, obviously, and then double its counters. Now I have to go in and look at everything that requires a counter. That's going to be interesting, but maybe there's some useful there. So definitely, obviously fits in the same realm with that Cactuar. Mandragora might be good too, but no, that one only needs 3. Garnet might be another good one. Okay, so there's something there. Chocolat would be another good one, just to get your counters out. Lena would be a fantastic one, right? Oh boy, being able to add
6 counters to this, Lena would now be able to revive like a 6 drop, which is unusual, unheard of. Um, oh man, there's some good stuff there actually, right? So it's not specific to monsters and it's not specific to anything really. So as long as it holds counters, um, let me read. Oh man, what about the Lednar? If watching counters plays, uh, oh, okay, so never mind. Lednar says either way. Lednar says remove all fortune counters from Lednar. So that's unfortunate, but I'm sure there's tons of good things here that can use that. So that might be an interesting one. I like this card a lot, actually. Zidane. Zidane cannot be blocked. When Zidane deals damage to your opponent, choose a forward, return it to its owner's hand. There's the water, which is cool. So that's always, right? If he's not dealt with. 2 for 6, though, that's pretty good. This is a hero, makes sense. And Steel, S and Wind. Your opponent reveals their hand. Select one card in their hand. Your opponent removes it from the game. You can cast it as though you owned it this turn. You can only use this ability during your turn, but not once per turn. So, wow, okay. That's really strong and seems very easy to pull off with the amount of Zidanes we have. I think if I search really quickly, we will know. I'm going to take a quick guess to say we have at least 12. No, we have way more than that. So 3, well, playable, right? So you're playing 3 of him, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other Zidanes, right? So um, yeah, your pick, right? Like whatever you want. So being able to steal a lot, oh, that's so nuts. Okay, that card is definitely going to see some play. Wind Water is going to be a little bit better now with playing this Zidane. Should be fun. Warrior of Light. The job standard unit forward you control gain 1,000 power. Damage 3. The job standard unit forward you control gain 2,000 power. So a total of 3,000 power? Yeah. Okay, so that's not bad. I wonder if they're going to start building into a standard unit deck. There's always been a lot of support scattered all over the sets, so maybe it'll finally come to fruition. Next, Ultimacia, Vanu Vanu, and Fachan. When Ultimacia enters the field, select one forward you control, put it into the break zone. When you do so, choose a forward. Choose a forward of the same cost as the forward you put into the break zone. You gain control of it. Select the forward you control. Okay. Oh, that's cool. I like that. So send one, get a whatever its effect. You still choose a forward of the same cost. Choose a forward of the same cost as the forward you put in the break zone. You gain control of it. That's cool. I like taking control of my opponent's forwards. I really like that a lot, actually. I think I'm going to do my best to find a place for this card in a deck. She is a witch, so searchable, and with the other, and then playable too, with the other Idea. So maybe water lightning in there. Yeah, because the witch searcher is also lightning. So there you go. And 8. So there's the 8 searchers are in fire and ice, sort of. So maybe something can work there. All right, Vanu Vanu back up. I forget if this is like the Sahajin one. We'll see. When Vanu enters the field, reveal the top 2 cards of your deck. Add a wind card among them to your hand and put the rest. Oh no, this is actually like the Ananta, right? The serpent one we talked about. Put Vanu into the break zone, reveal top 2 cards of your deck, and add a wind card among them to your hand and put the rest of the break zone. Yeah, so like I said, so we've seen 2 of these now. It's only safe to say that this set will either bring 1 for each color or for 3 colors, and then the following set will get the rest of them for the other colors. That's usually how they do it, right? That's how we got the Mughals. That's how we got the Clavat and those other ones. Like they came in 2 sets, and we do have another set at the end of the year, so we're going to finish this year with 14 and 15. Next is Fachan Monster. Same thing, same effect as the other one. At the end of turn, get a counter, but his is different. His is choose an active forward, deal it 2k for each. Oh, no, it loses 2,000 power for each monster. So it doesn't deal the damage, it makes it reduce, which is... I guess Lightning has had some reduction in the past, but I thought it would just deal it to its active. But that's interesting. So... yeah, I guess it's just reduction since Water's doing the drawing this time. So, okay, so that one's okay too. Power reduction is nice. I like that one. Still not super excited about it because it has to be active, but Next is Mircobroid, and the new Don Corneo. Backup Vieira, 2-drop wind. When Mira enters the field, activate card name Fran and card name Jote you control. I think we're going to see that one next too. I remember seeing that one. And for 3 win, you can tap and put her to the break zone and break a 5-cost forward. Choose a forward of cost 5 or more to break it. Okay, 5 or more. That's cool. I like backups that are useful later in the game, so this is good all around. Solid card. And 12, so I don't know if Title might use it. At the end of each your turn, place. So same thing. End of your turn, get a counter. Choose a forward, deal 2,000 damage for each monster counter placed on Cold Road. Okay, so fire does flat damage, lightning does reduction and to an active, and then ice does damage to a dull. Wind activates. Water draws 1. So we're missing the earth. I'm going to go ahead and say, without even seeing it before, we're going to go ahead and safe to say that earth says for every counter, give 2,000 power to that forward. Which I like already, but whenever that comes out, we'll talk about it. When Don Corneo enters the field, your opponent reveals 3 cards from their hand, select 1 card among them, and your opponent discards this card. Yeah, I like free information. Your opponent reveals 3 cards from their hand. Wow, that's so crazy. He's a 4-drop, right? But he does steal a card, so his value's there. Thankfully, he's not like a multiple of, so we're going to be able to, maybe play 1 or 2 of this. He is 7 searchable, I think. But either way, a pretty good card. I like it. We have Queena, and there's the Jote, and an Ultros. Queena picked Logical Blue Mage, discard 1 monster, draw a card. Queena gains 2,000 power until the end of the turn. You can release this ability once per turn. That could, of course, because that would be unfair. Remove 3 monsters in your break zone. Choose a forward. Put it to the bottom of its owner's deck. Oh, now that's very good. So there's the monster deck is always, because we always only get 1 monster for each color every set, and we haven't gotten more than that in a while. So it's the deck itself is slowly building out. But I think Queena will make her way into whatever monster deck is there because of the draw card and its second effect. Being able to send things to the bottom of the deck is just ridiculous, especially mid to late game, right? Because the searching kind of comes to an end sometimes, unless you're hitting EX bursts. But so 4-drop EX burst backup. When she enters the field, you may search for card name Fran or card name Mirn and add it to your hand. So this one searches the other one. The other one plays this one. You play the other one, activate this one. That's like 3 turn. That's like 3 backups potentially in 1 turn, with like 1 card left in hand or 2 cards left in hand. So it's not bad if you open this. So yeah, okay, I can see that. Maybe even more if you go second, you blow your whole hand, but that's 4 backups in 1 turn. You'd have to already have the Fran in hand and then search the mirror and play the mirror. Yeah, I don't know. Next is Ultros. When Ultros is put from the field into the break zone, you may remove Ultros from the game. If you do so, put the top 5 cards of your deck into the break zone, then select the card name Ultros in your break zone. And play it onto the field. Okay, so this one. So when reading this one, you have to remove Ultros from the game, right? That's this Ultros. But if you looked at its card name Ultros, is italicized. I think that's how you say that. It could be any other Ultros. So this one can bring in the other ones by removing 5 cards from the top of your deck. I never like doing that effect, not even for the Cloud. So I don't know. This guy's seen a bunch of copies, and I don't recall any of them having an S, which we can look up really quick as well. Yeah, they don't have S's, but he does have a lot of copies of himself. If there ever is one with an S or something that does that, we can figure it out. But the first one, I think the first one is the important, right? Because you have to have the old one from Opus 9 Legendary. When Ultros attacks, deal 2,000 damage and 1,000 for each card named Ultros in your break zone. All forwards your opponent controls. Yeah. Yeah, so they kind of just like intertwine with each other as long as you have them all in your deck. one comes from the break zone, one searches itself out for 2 CP, and then the other one you can tap to play one from your hand, I think, or search one again. I don't remember them all, but they're good. I think they'll get there, but I don't think it's there yet. Now we have we'll probably finish up here. Leviathan, Lord of the Whirl. The Whirl? Zeromus, and a new Wool. Primal. When Leviathan, Lord of the Whirl, enters the field, choose up to 1 forward your opponent controls, up to 1 backup your opponent controls, and 1 monster your opponent controls. Return them to their owner's hands when a character... Okay, return them to their owner's hands. When a character is returned from the field to its owner's hand, choose a forward your opponent controls. It loses 9,000 power until the end of the turn. Okay, so I'm interested to know if you have all 3 targets, and obviously nothing else happens, do you reduce 3 forwards by 9,000? That's how it seems. Return from the field to its owner's hand, choose a forward your opponent controls. It loses 9,000 power until the end of the turn. If so, that would be great. I would even just like pick a backup and a monster if targetable, depending how many forwards obviously your opponent has. But that's very good. I'm gonna go over the differences between that one and the chapters one in just a second after this one. But I like it, and I'm thinking maybe the Water Leviathan might have something going on for itself. So maybe we'll build that'll be the first primal deck we build. Zeromus, Lunarian 4. Zeromus is also a card named Zemus in all situations. Okay, when Zeromus enters the field or attacks, choose a character, freeze it. So this is what I was talking about too. This is the other thing, like I mentioned, the power creep. It's never either or, it's always both. So enters the field and or attacks. So a lot of cards are just moving in that direction instead of having just enters the field or just attacks. Choose a character, freeze it. At the end of each of your opponent's turns, dull all forwards your opponent controls. At the end of each of your opponent's turns, dull all the forwards your opponent controls. Okay, and at 3 damage, gain haste. That's pretty good. I like that. That's really good. At the end of each of your opponent's turns, dull all the forwards. That means they have no blockers, unless they have something with back attack or a way of activating them. That's really good, actually. That's gonna see a lot of play. Man, just the possibilities there, right? Like having, oh man, that's so good. Next is the Wool. When Wool enters the field, you may play 1 category Mobius forward from your hand onto the field. What? What? No, that's not. Bro, I'm gonna look up all these Mobius cards right now, but the most annoying one comes to mind already, and I'm pretty sure that is a Neo X Death. When Wool enters the field, you may play a category Mobius forward from your hand onto the field. This guy's a rare. What am I reading this right? Okay. 3 damage. Wool gains 1,000 power. Brave, and Wool cannot be broken by opposing summons or abilities that don't deal damage. Yeah, that's insane. That card is guys, please comment below if I'm reading this right. Oh, you may play 1 category Mobius forward from your hand onto the field. Yeah, I'm blown away by that one. All right, those are all the cards. These last 3 were pretty good, actually. I'm actually glad I saved these for last. They were all revealed at the same time too. So let's move on to the chapters version. Okay, so first off, we went from a 7k from a 7 drop to a 9 drop, and then we went down in power from 10k to 9k. That seems weird. When Leviathan Prime enters the field, choose a forward your opponent controls, return it to its owner's hand. If you control 4 water backups, also draw a card. So a little less there. If you control 6 water elemental backups or more, our opponent also puts 2 forwards they control into the break zone. Whoa. Okay. Okay, so this is so the older version seems like it was just meant for forwards. This one covers a little more. The new one actually, like our version, feels more like a Trishula from Yu-Gi-Oh, like where you pick 3 targets, right? One from hand, field, and break zone or discard pile, and I like that. But it also has like that after effect where it just reduces things by 9k. I'm gonna say that this is an upgrade for me. It definitely costs more, but and because it costs more, I'm gonna say that if I do remove 3 characters, if I do send all 3 characters, then then Leviathan will definitely reduce 3 things. Um, but I'm gonna wait for like some clarity on that later. If you guys know, obviously, just comment down below. Yeah, yeah, this is probably my favorite one so far. If it was a bust, Garuda was mediocre in my opinion, and Leviathan seems really strong. We already saw the Sahajin that supports it, and that was very. I thought that was a good card as long as he's out, right? It's a good card. Um, yeah, very good. We're gonna get excited about this. So we'll probably cover all the primals after the set is out. Hopefully, assuming we get them all right, because we have a little less than half of the set is already. It has been revealed. I want to say there's been like 40, almost 50 cards revealed. I can count them all. I should have counted them all before this, but I did not. So sorry for that. But yeah, we're almost there. Stay tuned for. Unfortunately, my exclusive spoiler is not coming in this one. Sorry. But like I said, please make sure to check down below in the description. I've left my links there. Follow me on Twitch, and maybe you guys will be able to watch the video when I go live with it. I do plan on streaming it just to go over it, and then maybe we'll move on to some other stuff there. But thanks for listening, guys. For those who sat around for the whole video, sorry if this one was a little long, but there was a lot of cards to cover, so I hope you enjoyed it. I will catch you next time.